In the first run, they sold $170 million in Yeezy leftover product. But switching gears into the business world, of course, you know, you mentioned it last week on the podcast when you said, we haven't talked about this person in a while. And then as I was preparing this time, I was like, man, she's right. We really haven't talked about Ye in a minute. And so sure enough, the time that you're watching this is probably, or the time that you're listening to this or watching this, has been a couple of days since Adidas was selling the leftover merchandise of the Yeezy product. So for those of you who may or may not know, Adidas had well over $1.3 billion of unsold Yeezy merchandise at the time of their split, or at the time of their, call it misunderstanding, or whatever it was. And so just recently, Adidas said that they're going to start getting rid of this merchandise, and they're actually going to take some of the money that comes from it, and they're going to donate it to some of the organizations that were offended by Ye's actions. But here's an interesting stat. In the first run, they sold $170 million in Yeezy leftover product. So it's crazy to think, because honestly, one of the thoughts that I had, and I don't know how you feel about this, but one of the thoughts I had was, yo, are people going to still buy the Yeezy merch, especially now that we know the Adidas Yeezy partnership is no longer a thing? And if there were any doubt, 170 million should probably do away with a good amount of that doubt. Now, look, there's still a good amount of inventory still left. You're still talking about, I don't know, somewhere north of 1.1 billion, if that number is accurate. But here is the lesson in all of this, right? Of course, it's good trending news for us to take note of, but here's the lesson. Like, what can we learn from this? Quite honestly, I was thinking about this and I said, man, a lot of us are, and we believe in this as well. We always encourage people to collaborate. But this is a good reminder for us to also sometimes collaborate with caution, right? The Yeezy brand exploded in sales, and it grew to 10% of Adidas's annual sales. So when you have a giant global company like Adidas, and you start collaborating with one creator who then starts to grow and take over, or pretty much provide 10% of the entire company's revenue, you should start taking some things into consideration around, hey, how much risk are we exposing ourselves to right now? If this one person who I collaborated and I'm supposed to be helping them really grow, they're almost outpacing our growth. They're on track to take us over. And so you might want to, just assess your risk from time to time when you're collaborating with people, and go back and revisit some of those terms. So they did say that Yeezy is supposed to take 15% of whichever product is sold. So I think he's due about an extra $25 million there. So, some interesting news nonetheless, but lesson for us as creative entrepreneurs, sometimes you got to collaborate with caution.
I think that's smart what they did, because I think the original thought was them taking the Yeezy logo off and still selling the merchandise. And I don't think that was going to work out very well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for those people who caught the restock, congratulations. All right.